What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2, Episode 4. So in this one, Koichi tries practicing his his repulsion ability, and Pop's annoyed by him practicing it. Saying she says that makes a point that if he basically launches a projectile at someone, regardless of where it's strong or where it's hard or software, that the cops and the other official heroes might get actually aggressive on arresting him. And so Koichi goes on patrol, and he's chased by a next level villain called Octoid, and he ends up in front of the Hada Brothers shop. Eraserhead is there. Basically, he likes their coffee. I guess he needs a cup of coffee in order to have a good day or whatever. And so Eraserhead starts trying to fight Octoid. Now, dude, I guess do the trigger, whatever. Basically, the that's inside Octoid. Eraser Head's quirk doesn't work well, and so Koichi shoots a repulsive blast at the Octoid's head, which helps save Racerhead. Then the Hada brothers give themselves the legal version of Trigger that they can actually control themselves, and they help try to fight Octoid. Basically, they claim it's self-defense, and so the four of them they lure Octoid to Kirihito's warehouse, and basically the five of them all fight Octoid. And so what's funny is Koichi, when he shoots his basically his propulsion blast, which he calls the crawler SGB or Shooty Go Blams. Yeah, that's the name he gave it. Mostly just pisses off Octoid. And so so they capture it, Koichi tries to leave, but Razorhead tells him to stay. He wants, someone call the cops so they could get to Octoid. But no argument. So basically, the net wherever that Octoid's trapped in falls. He gets out. The warehouse is destroyed, and so the final wall chase Octoid again. And then the Scarred Man comes across Octoid. Basically, Octoid attacks Scarred Man. Scarred Man gets pissed off, and he just beats the crap out of Octoid. And so he takes a blood sample, and he basically he says he already has a full scar he made to match his master, and he almost beats Octoid to death, very close. Now when Koichi, Eraserhead, the other Psycho start to arrive, Scarred Man leaves, disappears, and then so Koichi sees the guy go away, but he doesn't know who it is. Then another day, Koichi says hi to Eraserhead while he's hanging out with. So he's hanging out. Koichi was walking around with Pop. He sees Eraser, says hi. Eraserhead is talking to Sakachi, and Eraserhead just ignores him. I saw. I was like, "You idiot! This guy basically tried to arrest you. I say you would want to avoid him like you normally were doing, like you freaking retard." Yeah, but I mean, part of the point is, Koichi is supposed to be kind of a retard. But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Like the combat against Octoid. You see, it was funny seeing the Hada brothers go in their little common rider thing. I thought was funny. Yeah, Racehead is trying to adapt to how things are going, dealing with like vigilantes. So yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Going to movie season 5, episode 4. So in this one, so yeah, so Fusataro, uh, yeah, he then like he tries to so he basically like who's called pirate like so he abandons like the idea to like rescue like Sugamo Asarpa. He like so he and Shiraishi were like Shiraishi's trying to find Sugamo and Asarpa. So Fusataro abducts, captures Asarpa, knocks out Sugimoto, and he tells Asarpa to not like he tells Asarpa to abandon her goal to help the Ainu, that she should just you know like he says that she should just try to live a quiet life with Sugimoto, like he's trying to live a quiet life with his family. And so there's conversation. So Koido fights Fusataro. Fusataro almost kills Koido, but then Tsukishima appears and saves Koido. Then which allows Astra to briefly escape, but then she's captured by Seventh Division. For her being able to be used to decode the treasure map. Because everyone's trying to get out of the fire at the factory. Sugimoto, Shiraishi, find Fusataro. Basically, Shiraishi Sugimoto tries to kill Fusataro, tries to convince them to spare him so that they can actually find Asarpa. So then they start chasing them. Three of them start chasing. Then yeah, so and Fusataro gets hit, and so Hijikata and sees him and follows him. So Fusataro looks like while he's injured tells Shiraishi something. Shiraichi's shocked. We don't hear what it is, but it's something that looks to be important in regards to the treasure. It's interesting what that is, how that'll affect the rest of this arc. But yeah, I thought it was a very good episode. Liked all the action, double crossing, all that. Like how obviously we're getting close to the end, so Osterput is like the key to the treasure map. That is one thing that's key. So interesting how that goes. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Primal, season 3, episode 3. So in this one, so Spear wanders into a jungle. He continues having visions of Fane, especially when he sees a grasshopper that reminds him of Fane, I guess due to the similar skin pattern. And so he becomes protective of the insect, and he like even saves it from a chameleon that tries to eat it. And Spear tries to fall into a tree, but he crashes to the ground. And he basically like comes across a tribe of mole men that keep trying to eat like kill him, but then yes, but he's eventually captured, kept in the meat locker, wherever, where basically they plan to eat him. And his right hand has already been eaten by a mole man, with the bones remaining. So the grasshopper, who was injured previously but recovered a lot, basically distracts the mole man long enough for Spear to free himself, and the grasshopper is squashed by a mole man. And Spear sees another vision of Maine, and Spear gets pissed, so he finds a spear and starts killing all the mole men. And then he buries the grasshopper. And then yeah, so he finds a tooth necklace that reminds him of Fane's teeth. And he grabs a spear, puts some clothing to cover up like a big hole in his. his chest from one of the organs fell out. So Spear uses the corpses of all the women to help escape the cave, and he gets in the jungle where he sees a bunch of grasshoppers. Then he continues his journey after seeing another vision of Fane. So yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Interesting seeing him care for a grasshopper, a very minor type character, and then befriended it, and it died. He felt sad, you know, and then yeah, he just killed all the moment. The moment him just killing the moment that was freaking awesome. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Nine of the Seven Kingdoms, season one, episode two. So in this one, so Dunk tries to get people to vouch for him. He eulogizes Arlen of Paintree to various people at the tournament, to Lord Leo Tyrell, but no one remembers Sir Arlen. Then he sees the Targaryen princes, Baelor, Lord Maekar, and Arian. And so we get with the Kingsguard, Sir Roland Craighall and Sir Donald of Duskendale. And so the two Knights Guard, they question Dunk's legitimacy as a knight, and Dunk overhears that Maekar's kids, Darren and Aegon, are missing. And Duncan asks the Targaryens to vouch for him. Baelor remembers Arlen, and he decides to vouch for Dunk, but tells him to create his own coat of arms because he was not the biological son of Arlen. So Duncan and watch a performance by Tansel about flooring the fuel, and Dunk, who's into Tansel, asks Tansel to paint him a new coat of arms. And Lionel convinces Dunk and Egg to help in a total war game, and they win very easily. And Duncan sells a horse to buy the armor from Steely Pete, who's like the local blacksmith. And then so then the tournament starts. You have Valar Targaryen fight, jousting Medgar Tully, and Dunk starts thinking that Arlen has no legacy because basically he didn't do a bunch of grand fleets, and Dunk is concerned about ending up being the same, basically being a hedge knight no one remembers. So yeah, so I thought it was a really good episode. I thought it was good. Obviously, so I think you can. Well, some people say maybe I've seen people say this should have been a binge release, like all episodes released at once. I prefer a weekly model. I get why people think that for this, but I would argue maybe it should have been a movie. Like make it a movie series. Like given when a lot of these stories would take place, both the books that have been written and the ones that George R. R. Martin hasn't finished yet, because it's a prick who doesn't finish his books. Like amongst all those, it's enough time would pass between release of movies where he could probably make a decent movie out, like movies out of these, since a lot of these are standalone. Like yeah, like you probably could. But we get a TV show, and the TV show's fun. I thought this is a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.